Action adventure films are a lot of fun to watch. Go travel to new places, fight off evil villains, possibly learn a bit about a culture or two. Nah. But anyway, they're always a fun part of a movie-going experience. That brings us to today. Gods of Egypt. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When trailers for this movie first came out, I was not impressed. Of course I was gonna go see it, but I wasn't expecting much. It looked like this was just going to be Clash of the Titans, but for Egypt. And that's what this movie is, but only in spirit. Whereas Clash of the Titans was a reinvention of the story of Perseus, Gods of Egypt is more of a revitalization of Egyptian mythology, which, to be honest, does not get the attention it deserves. About the only thing these two movies share is the idea of man's interaction with the gods, and that one of the gods is evil. But enough with comparisons. Let's see how the movie stands on its own. The setting is Egypt, of course. It's intriguing, it's exotic. Our cast of characters, mostly gods and mystical creatures from this mythology. In fact, we even encounter a sphinx. But one problem with this movie. For a film that wants to introduce us to a whole new branch of mythology, it doesn't really do a lot to delve into Egyptian mythology. Now, for a film like Clash of the Titans, this isn't as much of a problem because we already know a lot about Greek mythology. We know who Perseus is, we know who Hercules is, we know who Zeus is. We don't know a lot about Egyptian mythology. It would have been more interesting to see a little bit more explained, even if it is through just simple exposition. The plot is fairly simple. Set, played by Gerard Butler, decides he's going to take the throne of Egypt away from his nephew, Horus, played by Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. Not only does he take the throne, he also takes Horus's eyes, leaving him helpless. Under Set's rule, humanity's enslaved, building pyramids and fortresses for him. But somebody gets tired of this. Enter our mortal hero for this epic tale, Beck, played by Brenton Thwaites. Beck is a thief who steals back one of Horus's eyes from Set. He then takes the eye back to Horus where he's hiding, and then strikes a bargain with him. Afterwards, the two set off on this epic adventure to free Egypt from the grip of Set. So what's the verdict on Gods of Egypt? The film's not perfect, but it is very entertaining. And it was certainly a lot more than I was expecting from it. Gerard Butler and Nikolaj Coster-Waldau's performances as Set and Horus are great. They're exactly what you would expect. The characters themselves are really cool. They're very interesting characters, in my opinion. Beck, on the other hand, he's not very interesting, especially when you put him up to Horus and Set. He's annoying. He's annoying, and it's not the actor's fault. It is the fact that the character is so generic. This is Beck's character in a nutshell. He's the hero that's going to be the one to teach the gods about humility to some extent. And his only real character traits are that he has somebody that he's in love with that he's trying to save, and that he's the charming thief with a heart of gold. And that he's got some backbone. That is it. There's no real backstory. One of the things that makes Set's and Horus's character really interesting is the amount of history that comes out in the exposition. Some of it's subtle, some of it's not so subtle. It's not to the extent of annoying exposition, but all that comes out to build this rich character with this amazing background, and Beck has none of that. And so when you take Beck and you compare him to Set or Horus, he's nothing. He's nothing. He's annoying. It's why are you here other than to be our representative of the moral race? Again, it's not the actor's fault. You can tell he's trying to do something with the character, but it's a generic character amongst a bunch of other people. Even some of the supporting characters are more interesting than Beck. That aside, this film is very visually appealing. I recommend going in and seeing it in the theaters because there are some scenes, for example, Set laying siege to this fortress, that are really cool to see on the big screen. The fights, the aerial fights are amazing to see on the big screen. This is a lot of stuff that is made for the big screen that you're not going to get the same experience in your home. Now, if you're one of those people that is not big on big screen experiences where you watch the giant battles and stuff like that and you don't have to do this, make sure you Redbox this at least. It's a really good movie. Well, it's a really entertaining movie and it's a good use of 2 hours. Again, the performances are really great. There was a lot of effort involved. It's really sad that the opening weekend for this film has already not been so great, and that some of the reviews coming in I don't feel like did it justice. Personally, I feel like a lot of people want to grade movies all on the same scale rather than what you're getting. For example, I feel like a lot of people just want to rate the your average action movie on the same scale that you would rate The Godfather on. And that's really not fair to movies, especially when it's opening weekend and people are looking at those reviews. This is definitely an entertaining movie. It's worth going to see. It's a PG-13 on the lower side, so it's safe, I think, for kids. I think this movie is honestly safe for kids. There is sexual content, but it's very brief. And any kind of innuendos are most likely going to go over the kid's head. So, go see Gods of Egypt. It's very entertaining. I'm probably going to go see it again before it leaves theaters. Anyway, if I had to grade this movie on a letter grading scale, I'd give it a B. Maybe a B minus. It doesn't really bring anything new to the world of cinema, except maybe using ancient Egypt as a setting in modern day action films, but at the same time it doesn't delve enough into that for that to really count. The film's entertaining, the sets are spectacular, the music was pretty okay, and again, the acting was really good. Story, fairly entertaining quest line. Anyway, this is Benjamin signing off.